Hello, today we're going to talk about how to swim horizontal to the surface of the water. Come on in. Hi. One of the biggest problems that we see in many of our swimmers is that they have excess drag because their legs are low in the water and they're not swimming horizontally. So how do you swim horizontal to the surface of the water? Many people think that by kicking really hard, their legs rise, but actually it doesn't work that way. Kicking hard only uses a lot of energy, and pushing down with the legs doesn't give you forward propulsion. So when your legs do drag as you swim, there is hydrodynamic lift that is created by the water pushing against the legs. But this lift causes excess drag. But before we give you the solution, we want to talk about the physics of the problem. Why do our legs sink? There are two concepts that are really key to understanding the problem. The first is the center of buoyancy. The center of buoyancy is the point where the body's rotation is centered, taking into account the density of its mass and its volume. It varies according to body type. The second key concept to understand the problem of leg dragging is the center of gravity. The center of gravity is the point where the mass of the body is centered. It is also body type dependent and near the waist. Okay, so here's the problem. Because the center of gravity is lower on the body than the center of buoyancy, the center of gravity will cause the lower end of the body to sink. If there's no movement and little muscular tension, a straight body will simply bob or robert in the water. For a body to be horizontal, the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity need to be near each other. You can see me go from bobbing to near horizontal with almost no movement. The question is, how do you shift your center of gravity towards the center of buoyancy? There are several ways to do it. If you add weight to the other side of the center of buoyancy, the additional weight will shift the center of gravity, but it may overwhelm the center of buoyancy, so it may be out. A second way to shift your center of gravity towards the center of buoyancy to have high legs is to increase the buoyancy of the lower legs by inflating them. However, this is illegal in competition and kind of painful, so you may not want to do it. Okay, here's how you really do it. Understand that mechanically, bones are levers, joints are fulcrums, and muscles are motors. By engaging the correct groups of muscles, you can shift through leverage the center of gravity towards the center of buoyancy in much the same way as a cantilevered drawbridge is raised. So first, you have to bring your legs in line with your body. To do this, we mainly use four muscles: the gluteus maximus, the semitendinosus, that's a hamstring, the semimembranosus, which is another hamstring, and the biceps femoris. These muscles are attached to the pelvis proximally. When these muscles are engaged in a contracted state, they pull on the pelvis and effectively shift the weight of the legs to the pelvis. The second thing that needs to occur at the same time is that the erector spinae muscles need to contract. When they contract, the back arches, the pelvis tilts, and the weight of the legs that is on the pelvis shifts to the upper back, so the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity are near the same point. Here you can see several muscle groups engaged to shift weight by levering over the pelvis to the upper back. Although some coaches say, swim downhill. Others say, hey you, press the T, press your chest into the water. Understand that if you don't engage the back muscles, the gluteus and the posterior thigh muscles, your legs are going to drop and you won't be horizontal to the surface of the water. So even if you can't stay horizontal on the surface while stationary, understand that it requires much less effort, around 10%, to be horizontal while swimming because of hydrodynamic lift. Here are a couple of drills to learn to engage the right muscles. Take a deep breath. Then just try floating relaxed face down in the water. Lift your arms in front, then bring your back up flat to the surface using your back muscles. Now slowly extend your legs out behind you along the surface. Another method is to start from a vertical position. Take a deep breath with your hands at your sides. Float vertically in the water. Raise your arms in front of your shoulders. Now drop your head between your arms, bend at the waist, and try to lift your legs using your muscles. This may take some time and quite a bit of effort, so be patient. With practice, it will become easier. Smooth swimming.